Erling Haaland is about to commit the perfect crime, and nobody's noticed he's the victim. In 2026, the greatest striker on the planet will be sitting on a couch somewhere in Europe, watching average forwards fight for a trophy he deserves more than any of them. Not because he failed. Not because he got injured. Because the country he was born in just isn't good enough. Norway didn't qualify for the 2026 World Cup. Full stop. And that single sentence might be the most brutal fact in world football right now. Think about what Haaland brings to the table. A striker who hit 36 league goals in a single Premier League season. A man who scored 10 goals in his first World Cup qualifying campaign, and still couldn't drag his country over the line. That's not a Haaland problem. That's a Norway problem. But he pays the price. Here's where it gets genuinely dark. Haaland turns 26 during the 2026 tournament. 26. That is the exact sweet spot: peak physical power, peak footballing intelligence, peak hunger. The window that every elite striker dreams of hitting at a World Cup. And his window is open. His country's door is locked. But that's not even the strangest part. The 2026 World Cup is the biggest in history. 48 teams, 104 matches, more nations than ever before. The qualification net was wider. And Norway still couldn't get through. Think about who is going to the 2026 World Cup. Nations with strikers who score a fraction of what Haaland scores at club level. Players who will stand in front of the world's cameras and chase a golden boot that, on pure talent, belongs to a man who won't be there. And this matters beyond statistics. The World Cup is the one competition where footballing legacy is truly cemented. Pelé, Ronaldo, Maradona, Mbappé, greatness is measured in World Cup moments. Haaland is building one of the greatest goal-scoring careers in history, and he has 0 World Cup minutes. 0. Psychologically, you have to wonder what this does to a competitor that driven. Every serious analyst who studies elite performance will tell you, prolonged absence from the biggest stage creates a hunger that either sharpens a player or quietly corrodes them. Which direction does Haaland go? The 2030 World Cup? Haaland would be 29 going on 30. Still elite, sure. But not the physical freak of nature he is right now. The speed drops. The recovery slows. Father Time doesn't negotiate. This right here 2026 was his moment. And here's the cold reality that nobody wants to say out loud. Some of the all-time greatest strikers, Van Nistelrooy, Shearer, Cantona, Di Natale, never lifted a World Cup, never even played at one. History remembers them, but differently. There is always an asterisk. Always a yes, but. For Haaland, that asterisk is already being written. Every World Cup cycle Norway misses is another chapter added to a story that should have been a celebration and is instead becoming a tragedy. So while 48 nations celebrate, while managers build tactical systems around their strikers, while fans paint faces and pack stadiums, Erling Haaland, the most complete number 9 on earth, watches. And I genuinely believe that's the most unfair thing happening in world football in 2026. Subscribe if you want the sharpest World Cup takes on this platform, and tell me in the comments. Is Haaland's World Cup ghost the greatest injustice in modern football? Or is he destined to make 2030 his defining moment?